All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the surprising biological and, get this, structural secrets to finally, absolutely finally, getting some deep restorative sleep. We all know that awful feeling, right? Waking up groggy, hitting snooze 5 times, feeling like you literally didn't rest at all. But the reasons behind all that exhaustion, they might be totally different than you think. Today, we're diving into the powerful connection between your body's internal clock, your daily habits, and the actual physical structure of your airway. We're going to break down exactly what happens inside your body when you sleep, and more importantly, how to fix it when things go off the rails.
So let's just start by taking a hard look at your evening habits, because the answer here might actually explain why you're still waking up feeling so sluggish. Just think about your typical night for a second. You have a long day, you finally sit down to eat, maybe catch up on a show, and then head to bed. Seems completely normal, right? Well, actually, the timing of that final meal might be the silent thief that's stealing your energy. The source material reveals it's not just about what or how many calories you consume, but specifically when you consume them. To really grasp why this happens, we first need to define your biological night. And this is basically the critical window when your body is supposed to just switch gears completely. You see, optimal health isn't just about what you do during your active daytime hours. It relies heavily on fiercely protecting this biological night. During the day, your body is primed for action. It's actively processing the nutrients you feed it to give you energy. But at night, your system is supposed to literally power down its digestive factories and shift all of its resources towards cellular rest, tissue repair, and deep, deep recovery. And there is just this stark biological contrast between daytime metabolism and nighttime rest. I mean, think of daytime eating as a green light. The sun's up, your metabolism is peaking, and your body is totally ready to convert food into fuel. But the second the sun goes down, your body turns on a red light for digestion. Late-night snacking forces your system to basically slam on the brakes when it comes to rest, and instead fires those digestive engines right back up. You're actively fighting against your own circadian rhythm. Now, what's truly fascinating in the source material here is seeing the direct chemical clash that happens inside you when late-night eating messes with your sleep hormones. So melatonin is your body's natural sleep hormone. It's the signal that it's time to shut down. But when you eat within, say, 2 to 4 hours of going to bed, your blood sugar spikes. So you end up with melatonin desperately trying to rise to put you to sleep, crashing head-on into a massive surge of blood sugar that's demanding to be processed. These two biological functions, they just simply cannot coexist peacefully. So, eating too close to bedtime creates this massive metabolic traffic jam that completely sabotages your sleep quality. You are essentially asking your body to do 2 massively important jobs at the exact same time: digest a meal and engage in deep tissue repair. And the result? Well, your body ends up doing both of them pretty poorly. Instead of recovering, your system is stuck working overtime processing that midnight snack, which is exactly why you wake up feeling completely drained, literally no matter how many hours you spent in bed. But luckily, the source material gives us a really effective, data-backed rule to clear up this traffic jam. Finish your last meal at least 3 hours before hitting the pillow. Seriously, this 3-hour rule is an absolute game changer. By putting a hard stop on eating 3 hours before bed, you're allowing your blood sugar to stabilize, right while your melatonin naturally peaks. This one simple shift in timing gets your digestion entirely out of the way, giving your body the clear runway it needs to enter that vital rest and repair phase completely uninterrupted. It's really all about working with your biology, not against it. By doing things like eating breakfast shortly after waking, front-loading your biggest meals when you actually need the most energy, and then really winding down in the evening, you sync your digestion right up with your internal clock. And this circadian nutrition approach doesn't just improve your sleep hygiene, it profoundly protects your overall long-term metabolic health. It actually lowers your risk of chronic diseases like obesity and diabetes. Pretty incredible, right? Okay, but here's a really critical pivot point for us. What if you follow all these circadian nutritional rules perfectly, but you still wake up completely drained? I mean, imagine you do everything right. You eat a great diet, you front-load your calories, you stop eating 3 hours before bed, you protect your biological night, and yet you're still waking up just smashing that snooze button, feeling totally exhausted. If the when for your eating is literally perfect, what else could possibly be going wrong? Well, this is where the source material introduces a massive realization. For a lot of people out there, the issue isn't just lifestyle. It's a physical structural barrier. You can have the most impeccable sleep hygiene and the most disciplined diet on the planet, but honestly, it won't matter at all if the actual physical path for your breath is compromised. And this is where we really bridge the gap between your daily habits and clinical reality. See, when the airway physically collapses during sleep due to obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, no amount of early dinner is going to give your brain the oxygen it desperately needs to recover. Here's what happens. When you fall asleep, the muscles in your throat relax. But for someone with OSA, those relaxed tissues actually end up blocking the airway. You literally stop breathing, and your brain panic wakes you up just to gasp for air. And this happens over and over and over again throughout the night, completely destroying any chance you had of reaching deep restorative sleep. Now, for a long time, the default clinical answer to sleep apnea was a CPAP machine, which, let's be honest, is notoriously clunky and a total nightmare to travel with. However, the source texts highlight custom oral appliances as a proven, amazing alternative. They're discreet, they're super comfortable, and they work simply by gently holding your jaw in a position that keeps that airway wide open all night long. And we can actually see this exact physical transformation through a patient named Rhett, whose journey proves how opening the airway finally allows your body to utilize its biological night. So Rhett did everything right. His routine, his diet, his timing, all flawless. Yet he was still waking up gasping. But when he traded his bulky CPAP for a custom-fit oral appliance, literally everything changed. By structurally keeping his airway open, his body could finally capitalize on the biological night he had worked so hard to create. He went from being chronically exhausted to completely empowered, basically getting his life back just by ensuring oxygen could actually reach his brain.
So, to bring this all together for your own routine, the sources outline this incredibly actionable 3-2-1 sleep method that beautifully bridges the gap between your evening habits and your physical health. Here is the blueprint. First, the 3 hours. Finish your meal early to keep your melatonin and blood sugar in perfect harmony. Second, the 2 minutes. Take that brief moment to pop in a comfortable, custom oral appliance to secure your airway. And finally, the 1 goal. Achieving the deep, tissue-repairing sleep you actually deserve, without having to rely on clunky, disruptive machines. So I'm going to leave you with this to think about. Are you only optimizing the when of your sleep while entirely ignoring the physical structure that makes true rest possible? As we've seen today, vibrant health requires a dual approach. You absolutely must respect your circadian rhythm and clear out that metabolic traffic jam. But you also have to be completely honest about whether your body is physically capable of breathing freely through the night. If your habits are spot on but your energy is sitting at 0, it might just be time to take a closer look at your airway. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go out there and take control of your biological night.